Keep it. Unlikely. Okay, down base. Halacha Gimel. These are for women are forbidden to eat truma. If somebody said, the woman says, I'm tamei to you, right? She said she was an adulterer. Witness actually came that she's tamei. But Meir said, the woman says that I'm not going to drink. Shabala ain't a rotash, her husband doesn't want to make her drink. Or her husband has relations to her on the way to Yerushalmi. So what do you do if you a woman underwent kinei stira? You bring her up to Yerushalmi. Malicha based in actually, first bring to the basin to that place. And then when you come to the basin, you give him 2 times to accompany him. Shema Yabola B'derech, lest he have relations to her on the way. Rabbi says we trust the husband himself to safeguard himself. Okay. Says Maslisin Lo Mishnah Rishoina. Is our Mishnah not going like Mishnah Rishoina? It's going like Mishnah Rishoina, and seems not to be going like Mishnah Achroina. Because what's Mishnah Rishoina? What does the Brayta say? It's the one, or we learned it in a Mishnah actually. But Rishoina Yomrim initially they said Sholosh Nashim Yotzos V'Not Lo Ksuva. There are 3 women who leave the marriage and take their ksuva. What are they? Omeres Tmeani Lachod Loch. A woman who says that she's tamei to her husband. Shamayim b'ni u'beinecha. She says, let the heavens be a witness between me and you that you are impotent. Because obviously only the heavens can testify that the guy is impotent. Nobody else knows. U'natzu'ani mi'Yehudim, mina Yehudim. And I refuse to have relations with any Jews. So now, this is all Mishnah Rishoina. And that's what our Gemara says, our Mishnah says, that if a woman says, Tamei ani loch, she's also on, she has to get divorced, and she's also on her husband. But according to Mishnah Achroina, which is not brought down here, but the Carbonata brings down in the first Carbonata, it's only if she actually, they're only if she actually is Raglaim Lodover that she's Tamei. We don't believe a woman said Tamei ani Stam, because maybe she wants to marry somebody else, so she actually has to have some, indication, some circumstantial evidence what she's saying is correct or true. So our Mishnah, which doesn't require that circumstantial evidence, just says that she says Tamei ani loch. That seems not to be going like Mishnah Achroina. Says the Gemara, Rabbi Yavin said, I feel Tamar Mishnah Achroina. He didn't even say it's going like Mishnah Achroina. Mikom Mikom Yesh Raglayim B'Dover. Here, there's Raglayim L'Dover. Here, there is circumstantial evidence. What's the circumstantial evidence here? That there was Kinu and Stira. Right? So that's enough in order to make it a raise circumstantial evidence to Aser. Okay? Says the Gemara, Tani, we learned. Bibaladei Sheikh. Besides your husband, somebody else had relations with you. That's when you're chayiv to go to become. That's when you become a Sotah, right? We noted that, and we actually had this in the Bible this morning as well, Daf Nunei. She has to have relations with her husband first and then with the adulterer, not vice versa. How do we know that? The Bible actually doesn't explain this, but the Yerushalmi does. It says that you have to bring all the other korbanos besides the Olas Tamid in the morning. And we know that all the other korbanos come besides and after those Tamid, because those Tamid comes first. So to here, when we say Mibaladei Sheikh, besides the husband, sounds like the husband was first in line, and then afterwards came another guy along afterwards. That's the only case in which there is a possibility of making a Sotah. So it says, Mara, wait a minute. Oh no, that's the end of that. Now the Gemara goes on to a new issue. It says on Mishnah, it says about her husband have relations with her on the way, so then the waters don't check her anymore, right? So it says the Gemara, then we learn just like the waters check her, so do they check him, the adulterer. And just like she's also to her husband, she's also to the adulterer. Just like she's also to her yavam, she can't marry the brother of the boel. Kishem, now here's the key. Why will you bring this all down? Because of this brisa, or this part of the brisa. It says, Kishem Shamai Bokim Osa Kobia Obia. Just like the waters checker on each and every relations, she mekabeles as Baala, that she received from her husband lachara boel, after the adulterous relation. Kachem bokin oso. So too they check the adulterer. So it's an interesting concept. For each and every bia that he has after having identified his wife as a Sotah, he transgresses a lav and he gets flogged for it, right? So the question is, but it sounds like, how do we know that? Because we say just like the waters check, well, he doesn't get flogged, but he gets punished from Shemayim. And we said, see how that's true, because we draw a parallel between that and the waters. He drops dead. He was get adultered. So, but in any event, the main question here is that it says that for each time her husband had relations with this woman after she became a Sotah, this guy is going to get more powerful afflictions as he drops dead, as his adulterous liaison, the woman, drinks the waters in the Beis HaMikdash. You see what it says? Just like they check the woman, so too they check the man. So it means to say, as she's drinking it,
it's not on the it's on the husband.
I don't think that's here the case, though. Well, yeah, that's I was looking for. Somebody says it. Okay, so the question is, how does the waters work? It's a Mishnah that after, if the husband had relations, the water doesn't work anymore. But here we see the waters do work to check the boel, and her also, of course, even after the husband had relations with her. So Mark gives a very obvious answer. Says more, depends if he knew that his wife had relations or not. But if he knew and then he had relations, so then of course the husband is a sinner and the waters won't check. But if he didn't know it was inadvertent on his part, then the husband is not a sinner, at least is only an inadvertent sinner, and therefore the waters can still check both his wife and her boel. Okay? Says the Gemara, Rabbi Chia bar Yosef Shab, sorry to say. Rabbi Chia bar Yosef sent after his wife. Now his wife, it seems, is taken captive and he was ransomed or something like this. So he sent a message to bring her to wherever he was. So Amar said, Yaski Matlaf Talmidim. She's recalling my 3 students. She moved to Echomei and Matorga, one of them is to go to the bathroom. Then she won't only be miyachim with 2, and that's not a problem. So it wasn't because he was doing kinu or anything like that. He just didn't want there to be a yichud problem, right? So it says the Gemara, then we already learned this in our Mishnah. It says mostly low. So what does he tell us which you didn't know? So it says the Gemara, Rabin said, what? Why do we use 3? Right. So it says Amre Avinu Ba'alo Reish Losha. Amish, it's also 3. Because there's a husband too. So that makes 3, right? There's a husband also. So that makes 3. So they have to also there require 3, and also over here to require 3. Okay, says the Gemara. Now this is not clear. This is going back on our sugya. It's going on the famous sugya Suvas Rabbi Chaim ben Akatza. Says that Chaim ben Akatza was a Kohen, and when they destroyed Yerushalmi, so he was with his wife the whole time. He made sure that she wasn't disqualified from kahuna. But the Chacham said, we don't believe you. And therefore she was disqualified from the kahuna. And therefore he had to live apart from her because he didn't want to divorce her. So says more, what did he do? He ran her for a house, and supported and sustained her. And we're not in yichud with her unless the children were present, in order that it shouldn't be construed as illicit biur. The Korah al pasuk is he said about himself the following pasuk: Yagati ban chasi, I was found, I toiled in my anguish or in my moans. Umenucha lo matzasi, but I still didn't find respite. Meaning that even though he had the difficulty at the time of the siege, and now he continues the difficulty because his wife is also sick. Tyra Yomer, then it says, it came back to a mission. We said in the mission, Ravina says the husband is allowed to come in here even without the presence of Aiden. So it says, here, Tyra Yomer, doesn't believe concerning your status. Kava chomer. What's a kava chomer? Kava chomer is very simple. Umayim anida shechayav le'ak kares. Anida yechayav kares. Arei hu neman oleh. Right? He's believed concerning that. Sorry. So he says again, what's the Kavachor? My additional Koretzere Namanala's believe. Zushech Koretz. He was no is the Koretz and didn't she and Namalas are Kavachor, which you should believe. Right. And we believe there was no B afterwards. Says the Gemara Amalai says it's not comparable. By Nina, it's like Biyodo to be mat or Biyodo to be mat because she's going to be mutter after she's prohibited. So therefore, there's less incentive to lie, as opposed to Tomar Bazu, a woman who was taken. Who was a Sotah, so is there already heter for Easter, she remains also forever. So maybe those will take more desperate measures to be mad to her, like lying. Like by Nita's little incentive to lie because the matter is going to be mutter next week anyway. And maybe by Sotah there's a lot of incentive to lie, right? So it says the because forbidden after Isser, right? However, Torah B'su is a Sotah, Shein L'Eta Achasur, she has become permitted after she becomes closer. V'or besides that we're afraid, Mike Dubi Mitaku, is want to taste stolen waters. What's the stolen waters here? What? Yes, that's why. What do you say?
Another reason why we're concerned that we don't believe him by the Sotah is because it's mind Ganuva.
Right. You're right. He wants to try. Mind Ganuva means he wants to try and lie in order to have her around in order to have relations. Okay, it says Maram Raida Xer Sakosafu. Xer Sakosa, the guy can bring up his wife by himself. It says Vevia Isha Sishto, it's in singular. According to the Kohen. They said no Bilvad Beidim, who says maybe Isha bring it is not with witnesses, there were witnesses who are bringing it. Okay? What? Concerning what? That only the guys believed in it of themselves, the husbands. Chacham argued. They're saying that says they're all singular means there has to be other people around. Okay? Says Mishnah further. All you Malin also be based in the base of Yerushalmi. They were taken up to the base of Yerushalmi. When I'm in a land, they would threaten her, like they would threaten witnesses in the capital crime. And they'd say to her, Biti, my daughter, Arbe Yainos. Much is done by wine. Harbe Schokose. Much is done by frivolity. Harbe Yaldusose. Much is done by youth. Harbe Shchei Roimose. Much is done by bad neighbors. In other words, basically we try to limit her liability, right? Al Ta'asi L'Shma Gadol. Do not cause the great name of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Shenichta V'Kedusha, which is written with holiness, Shemochal Domim, that it should be Alamayim. Sorry. You have Domim, what? Yes. Shemochal Mayim. That it should be spilled out, erased in the water. And we say in front of her all sorts of wonderful things, which she's not worthy of hearing. Neither he nor she nor all the members of her father's household. Says Mark just like we warn her to renege if she's told to me. We warn her not to renege if she's Tohora. They say to her, Biti, my daughter, Im Torah, if it's your Torah, the Boilo Torah, that's clear to the Torah. Im the Abriyech, remain with your clarity. Even though you're going to have to drink the water, this water is like the waters are like a sami avesh, like a dry ointment. Placed on a piece of a patch of skin, which is not blemished, it won't damage it. However, matzah maka, if you place the same herb. Yeah, you place the same herb or bandage, matzah maka on a wound, so it comes and starts dripping into the wound. So basically what we're saying is that if you're Tahora till now, you shouldn't worry that by drinking the Sotah you're going to kill yourself. Because it's only like a medicine which harms the people who shouldn't be taking it in that location. Is that not clear what I'm saying?
That's very cool. It's supposed to be very big. It can't be
yeah, but nonetheless, it's worth it for her. That's what I'm saying. She said she should go through this. Says the Gemara, Rabbi Schaya Chasari Rabbi Levi, having a shtoya then uvda. Rabbi Schaya, this story a little bit like it says about down the Bible elsewhere. Rabbi Schaya, the son of Rabbi Levi, the son-in-law of Rabbi Levi, would tell this story. Rabbi Meir, Havi Olive Tarish, the Knishta Rachmosa, the Chamsa, and Meir used to give a drasha in the Beis HaMedrash in Chamsa, Kol Leila Shabbos, or Friday night. Vavatama Chadav Itisa. well, not all Friday night, but every Friday night. And there was there one woman, so she wanted to become accustomed to listening to his voice, meaning she wanted to hear the Torah. She wanted to go to shiur. Chadzman Oni Dorish once he darshan very late. And she didn't have her cell phone with her to call home to say she was coming home late. So Az's Balo Mail Base. So her husband went Az's boy's Mail Base. She wanted to go in home. They found the candle the right. Yeah. Very good. He found the candle burnt. She found the candle burnt down. Her husband said, hey Navis, where were you? So she said, Mishami called the drasha. I went to listen to the drasha. So says what did her husband say? Amar Loi said to her, Bikach, which is language of an oath. The lay sa'i eat the so you can't come to your house. Sorry. Azman the Yosas Verakaka Bagoape the Drusha. Until such time, you're not coming home until such time as go and spit in the face of the guy who gave the drasha. Sotah Amir Ruach HaKodesh. Amir saw this Ruach HaKodesh, what was going on. He made himself as if he had an eye ache or eye infection. Honestly, he said, any woman who can come and do a incantation for the eyes, Tasty Dulchosh should come and whisper. So, Armalei Megirta, the neighbor said to her, this woman, who was meanwhile not let back inside her house, this is your response. I think that's what it means. It's not in the Bible? No, Charlotte.
The mayor called her over and said, there's meat spit in my eyes.
Yeah. Oh, it's much more verbose here. Yeah, what page you on? Yeah. So anyway, it said to her, she said, the neighbor said, honey, say, this is your opportunity, literally your response. Te'alina beitzech. Go into your house. Honey said to the beitzech, this is your opportunity to go back home, to go back to your house. Pretend that you're saying incantation upon him. Baruch in the meantime, spit in his eye. Asas l'gabe. So she came for her Amir. Amar lo so her Amir said to her, Chacham at milchus do you know how to make incantations on the eye? So Mabe son Ele, but she was so afraid of him. Amar le, she said, Lo, I don't know how to make things with the eye. Amar lo, so he said to her, Amir said to her, spit at my eye 7 times, but tavle it'll be good for me. I mean the rakikas. After she finished spitting, Amar lo, he said to her, Aslin Amrin Labalech, go and tell your husband, Chazman Amartali, you told me to spit in his mouth 1 time, and I did it 7 times. Okay, so I'm big on my dream. Amalul Tamir, the Rebbe. Amalul Tamir says, Tamir Ramir said to Rebbe, Kacham Vazim is the Torah, that's the greater Torah, allow women to spit at you. So, Ila Marto, were you to have saw this, you were having this problem. Loving and Mikesley, do you think we would not have brought that husband Umakis, I saw him beat him with a chair. Umartzin, and persuaded him. Umartzin, he decided when he made peace with his wife. They said, no, could not have allowed that. Loya covered Meir, covered Kono. My covet shall be in the covet of my creator. Maim Shema Kodesh. If the holy name Shenichta B'Kedusha, which is written with holiness, Amar Kotzi Shimocha Maim, the Torah said it should be raised over water. B'Shvil Atu Sholom Benish Liishto, in order to make peace between man and wife. Corral cover Rabbi Meir, Lokoch can certainly say to apply to the honor of Rabbi Meir. Okay? Pisca, new topic. The woman is about to be a Sotah and Shelly based Mikdash. We say to her things which are so lofty that she's not suitable to even hear them. What are some examples here? So the mice of Reuven are moving his father's tent into Bilhah's tent, or mice. I lost my place. No, mice of a Tamar. That what went on there. So both these cases are cases which we wouldn't translate because of Avera inside. But the Musar Haskell is very critical. The Musar which comes out of it says, the lo kichdu me'avosayim, they never kept. Alright, Shechom Yakidu, Elu Ma'rum and Yehuda. Chom Yitaova, that's story about the Reuven and Yehuda. Which is, lo kichdu. Actually, I forgot what this means. I'm sorry. What? What? No, it means they didn't conceal. They didn't conceal. They didn't conceal their Averis, but they did tshuva right away. Okay? What reward they get that they did tshuva right away? What reward did they get? So Elohim levadon nidno oretz, v'lo avar zar b'socha. Land was given to them every yard, and nobody else came through that land. Furthermore, Moshe when Moshe came to the bracha, he said, Reuven should live and not die. And then he said, V'zos Yehuda should have the same bracha. So we see here, after all said and done, that there are several cases in history where people did tshuva. We mentioned that to her in the hope of getting to do tshuva as well. Okay? Right. The chiyas granted to Reuven was also granted to Yehuda. Well, what do you mean, brother? So why does it bother you?
Because it's just Moshe said there's also such and such.
Why say vizos? Must be added to the bracha of Reuven. That they get the same bracha. Am I offense? Maybe.
That's why I think it's creative.
Okay. Says Gemara, Rabbi Chizkiah b'shem Rabbi Achor. Rabbi Chia Dori Shosh Mikos Shvach. He learned 3 psukim and as praiseworthy, even though they don't seem praiseworthy. What was one of them? We had this flow back, I think, at the end of Ksubas. Vateshu Pesach Hanai. Tamar sat at the opening of the eyes. So it says the more it's impossible. I feel is even the worst pastor in the world. Ain't also okay, they don't do it in public. It's good old days, right? Ella Shetolo Aina Tolosena we darshan. She opened up her eyes, the passage called a nine so to the opening. What? Yeah. Interesting notes. Tell me what everybody looks forward to. In other words, that he wanted to perform mitzvah. Right. She was doing a mitzvah, and mitzvah was somebody who everybody looked forward to, but it was doing a mitzvah. So she said, Master of all the worlds, let me not go empty out of this house of Yehuda. Interpretation, what's Pesach Enayim? She opened his eyes. How so? She said, I'm available on Torah, so therefore we have relations. Says the Gemara, another interpretation. Pesach Einayim. What's Pesach Einayim? Shepischo lo es Einayim. I just said that. Sorry. Veli Zaki Mo. It's a rough night. Veli Zaki Mo. No, usually I get a second wind after a mark. There's certain times of the day when I get. At certain times of the week. What? Yeah, well, it's not quite quick enough. Okay. Very talking mode. Ellie was very old. This we all say Ibamas. V'gomer, etc. That's why it says V'gomer. And then it says Yashki. It says about his two sons, Chafti and Pinchas, Yashkivung Ksiv. Not that they laid down with the women, but they caused the women to lay down. What does it mean? What was their sin? The women would bring their birds, which they had to sacrifice in order to be allowed to go home and eat taros. The Tara about saying, where they come Torah, where you match your son, they kept them waiting, so they couldn't go home and be with their husbands. It's as if they had relations with the women. Kosh Baruch Hu Ma'ala Alein, Kosh Baruch Hu Tribute them, Ki'ilu and Shorchasam, as if they had relations with them. I'm Rabbi Tanchur Etul said, I'll bring a proof that that was the extent of his sin. Because when they're saying, because when Eli rebukes them, how does he rebuke his kids? He says, why don't you treat my korbanos properly? My korban of the meat and my korban of the flour. If you're going to say they committed the Samir Avera of Eishazish, so Maricha Mina Chamura, he stays away from the more severe sin, and he mocks them on the lower, smaller sins. So it must be that, in fact, they didn't have the higher sin of Eishazish, the worse sin, but rather it was just as if it was Eishazish, because they kept these women from their households. But not that they actually had the Avera of Eishazish. Okay? Similarly, it says, it should not follow his pathways. And they followed bribery. Is that true? Could Shmuel Eli Spencer taking bribery? No. But you know, they would take Meiser. They were Kohanim. They would take Meiser and only afterwards sit in judgment on these people. Even though it's coming them the Meiser or the Truma, whatever it was, but since they're sitting in judgment, looks like they're taking feeds. Amar Rabbi Brecher said, Mivarachto Itzoveres, caravans that pass by with all sorts of schela, and then they would forsake the needs of Am Yisrael, and go and buy themselves in the merchandise, and that was a terrible chisaron on their part. It's another couple of interpretations what meant Mivarachto, but that's good enough. Okay, Aloche. If at this point she becomes afraid, we warn her. We say, you better be careful. If she says she's male, Shavez Ksuva, so she writes a receipt for Ksuva, which she does not get because she was a Sotah. The Yotzit, she gets divorced. If she continues to maintain her innocence, we take her to the east gate, L'Shar Nikanor, to the gate of Nikanor. Shisham Mashkim is the Sotas, because there you give the Sotos to drink. Umitarianes Ayodos, there also, you put the Yodos, the women are about to give birth, and the women who gave birth, in order to be there present when they do their korban. Because the gate there was very thick, and the thickness of the gate did not have the din of the Azara. So if the Sotah dies, she should die in the gate area and not on the plain, not in the Beis Hamikdash. So Joe, gate area plain. Never mind. What? So there also the oldest who are not quite Torah stand. Time is the Mitzrayim, and they stand also the Mitzrayim stand there in the thickness of the gate of Nikanor. Right, they stand under the arch and extend their fingers out. Yeah, but it's into that it's not.
You do extend it to the other side.
Because Shar Nikanor is between the Ezra Noshim and the Azora. Shar Nikanor was between the Ezra Noshim and the Azora.
So they extend though their hands and feet and toes to the thickness of the wall, but not past.
No, beyond it. The more I discuss that, Bias Mitzvah Shmo Bias Lo Shmo Bias. But the more Pasha says it goes like this, or like this, outside the thickness of the walls. Okay? Says the Kohen holds it closed and rips. In Nikru, if they rip it to pieces and pieces. In Ifru, if they come patches. That's what I'm looking for. Nikru means rip. Nikru means that's one interpretation in the Carbonator. But the first interpretation is that Priya is large ribs, and Prima means it's a lot of little ribs. Anyway, it's whatever happens, happens. Achim Gal Slima until reveals her heart. The slice says Sarah and uncovers her hair. She's got a nice chest area. Loya Megaleu. They wouldn't reveal that area. Bima Yasari Noah, also she had beautiful hair. Loya Sosa, they wouldn't reveal her hair. Ksivik says, they're going to put the woman before God. Zeshar Nikanor. That's the gate of Nikanor, because the Nikanor gate was between the Ezra's Noshim and Ezra's Yisrael. So therefore that was brought close before God. Now, it says, now, that's the pasuk in Shmuel Aleph, Perak Beis. The Korban Beis are a pasuk in Shmuel Al Perak Ches. Totally different pasuk. Not this pasuk of a man sins to another man, but Asher Yechta Yisrael, another pasuk. Check is more appropriate, because there it speaks about all sorts of stuff we did wrong in the Beis Hamikdash. In any event, whatever pasuk is not germane. The next, the pasuk they could actually about the same. Rabbi Chia Barbo and Rabbi Yerushalmi Levi are machlokas. Rabbi Chia Barbo Pata Kroi Beboya. He said the pasuk is talking about the adulterer. Shemalevi Pata Kroi Bisha says the pasuk is talking about the woman. How so? Rabbi Chia Barbo Pata Kroi Beboya says the pasuk says there's a terrible thing talking about the boil, about the guy who had relations, the adulterer, and we say to him, Ha'ain Zona Farnes. The husband is sustaining and feeding this woman. And you're coming, your own cognizance and raping or seducing her. That's cheap. Hey, if you want to seduce her, then you should pay her upkeep. How can you allow the husband to pay her upkeep and you will have a relationship? It's not elementary fairness. Rabbi Shua ben Levi put the Krobashus Bishri said so at the woman. I would say to the woman, you jerk, I ain't Zanum Farnes. Your husband is sustaining you. Totally say Naim Al-Khayran, you're putting your eyes on somebody else. That's not nice. So one of these things is what we say. Now it says more a very interesting fundamental question. Maybe this woman is tar, but we're basically thumbing our noses at her and saying you're a jerk, an idiot, whatever we're saying. So it's not fair, right? Maybe she's tar. So it says more a very interesting answer. You find Andrelusia is an interesting word to translate. It means confusion, desolation, destruction, anarchy, nihilism, all those things is Andrelusia. What? Well, the Carbonated translates it as a plague, a pestilence. But look at the Pnei Moshe, he says, Tarubes, mix-ups, right? So it means here's one of two things. Either it means in order to prevent, or it can mean one of two things. Either means in order to prevent Andrelusia, then we abuse her. In order to prevent that status from happening. Or the other shot is that's part of the Andrelusia. In other words, yes, it's not fair, but this is a time of great, national tragedy. So as a great national tragedy, we have to use certain expedient methods, even though they might not be inherently fair. Okay? Says the Gemara, Kaye Omar. Now the pasuk seems to say, Makrim b'chagim avazim. First we read of the parsha, V'at kisatis tuma tachasi sheikh. Since if you became Tomei, oh boy, you're in big trouble. And then we rip her clothes. But Masnisa are the order of the Mishnah is in Masechta Sotah, our first our Mishnah, which has Mevazin to rip her clothes. B'chaka the second Berg Makrin to read her the riot that. So it's a contradiction. Some Rabbi Ila says, no, we came in the Chsiv Vehemid. It says in the pasuk that you make her stand up. Vemidah. Can't says Vemidah. The Chiyuv Shabbos, so when she's sitting before it, she's standing all the time. Basically, nobody's allowed to sit. Who's the only people allowed to sit in the Hazara? The king of the house of David, that's right. Not even Agrippa's the king, right? So the Chiyuv Shabbos is. So when she's sitting, El Magmas Amido Rishoina Yapres Rosha. So he's saying no, that when it says here in our mission, it says, I guess later on actually, it says, Paitzo Medes. What's the language it says here? It says in the pasuk. Yeah, okay, I made a mistake. In the Bryce, I had first to rip her clothes and then to read her, the parsha. The pasuk sounds like first you read her the parsha and then you rip her clothes. But it can't be. Because it says, Vamid, you make her stand up and rip her, make her stand up to read the parsha. What do you mean, stand up from what? She wasn't saying beforehand. It means you stand up for the process of uncovering hair and ripping her clothes. So in fact, even the psukim need to connote, let's say you stand her up after something is taking place, that you first are mevazer, and then only afterwards you actually go through the legalistic proceedings. Okay? Says the Gemara, Masnisa Amra. Sorry, but yes, just go. So it says more, the Chavashitasa Rabbi Yehuda. There seems to be a contradiction of Rabbi Yehuda. Interesting contradiction. When I give a woman a death penalty, how do I give her a death penalty? Or man first? So, a man you cover him in front. But and a woman, from in front and from the back, because of sneers, right? Even though she's about to die or pushing off a roof, she can't be uncovered, right? But here, what does it say? Here Rabbi says you rip her, she goes topless. What's the chiluk, right? And furthermore, here's the answer. No, there it's different. Because there she's about to die. So there's not much taiva about her, right? One second. I made a mistake. Sorry, small. Rabbi Yehuda is the one who says we don't reveal her. Sorry, Rabbi Yehuda is the one. The contradiction there. Rabbi Yehuda says we uncover here and here. And here we see Rabbi Yehuda says we don't uncover her. Okay, so the answer is that over there she's going to die, so we might as well uncover her. Because she's going to splatter on the ground anyway, so she's not going to be too appealing. But here she might survive, right? If she was Torah, so therefore here we don't reveal her. Okay, so sorry. But here Shemati Matzi Torah, May Shemai to be Torah. He's called by Pirchei Kuna, and the Pirchei Kuna will become, aroused over her. Now again, we're going to Rabbanan. The Chavish does Rabbanan. It's Kachiv Rabbanan. There they say, a man is stone naked, but a woman is not stone naked. And here, they say we rip open her shirt. How come? What's contradicted? The fascinating answer, which I actually say in the Bible says, it says you should love your neighbor as yourself. What do we understand that? You choose the lightest possible death. And for a woman doesn't want to be degraded even in death by becoming naked. Okay? So therefore we do her a favor. Even though she's a convicted murderess, or convicted Mechalel Shabbos, or a convicted adulteress, but at this point we have to do her chesed. And kill her in a nice way. But the woman over here, here we want all women to see this woman and be afraid, and we want to make her an example. So there, interesting thing, by Misas Beistin, we're more lenient on the person already. But here, by Sotah, we throw the book at her, and therefore we degrade her by making her naked in public. Okay? Next mission. She was wearing white clothes before she had the Zima Shelochen. She was wearing white clothes. We put on her black clothes. She was wearing gold jewelry. Katalios, certain type of necklace. The Zomim, earrings. Tabos, rings. Ma'avirim, and he take them off her. In order to make her republic. Maybe chevel and mitzvah, then you bring an Egyptian rope. The kosher and you tie it above her breast to hold that shirt in place, because you already ripped off the shirt open. So to hold in place, you bring an Egyptian rope. Anyone wants to come and see the spectacle comes to see her being degraded. Except for her slaves. And they should leave a gossip because she feels haughty in front of them and she might not concede her Avera. And it might cause her to lose her life unnecessarily. Everybody else can't come and see her. As he said, the Nosu Kol Anoshim, all the women should feel rebuked. Not do their like their licentious ways. Says the Maramas, law. Armish is talking about, she says that she was wearing white, she should wear black. That's where she doesn't look good in black. But nowadays, like if the style is black, we're annoying look over there. Black don't change white to black. Keep her in white. Pencil coat looks good in, you do the opposite color. Maybe Chemitz are bringing an Egyptian rope. Why an Egyptian rope? So Rabbi Yitzchak Lepishu asks Kamaisa Mitzrayim because she did like the Egyptians. Rabbi Yirmiyah asked, Chevel HaMitzri Makif, does the dafka have to be an Egyptian robe? It could be any kind of robe. Also, Kfifa Mitzvah Makif, it says she brings the mincha in the Egyptian basket. It's a dafka in the Egyptian basket, or because of the Egyptian act, or any type of one. Doesn't answer, but the Bobby says it's not Makif. Yerushalmi ain't one who pays for this stuff. The ropes and the baskets. Interesting, not her. Yeva Kaidama, the Rebbe, it's like Rebbe said. The Rebbe said, Hamas Hamayim, the drainage canals, the Chemes here, and the walls of the city, the Seh and its towers, the Chot Sokeir, all the needs of the city, Boy Mishar Lishka, the comfort leftover funds at the end of the year from the Lishka, V'achakain, and so too comes the leftover funds. Okay? Okay, now, the rest of the parak is, well, I think just I got it. With the measure you measure, they measure back to you. She decorates her Avera, the Hashem degrades her. For an Avera, she revealed herself. The Torah reveals her. The thighs, first they say Avera of licentiousness begins, and then it goes to the stomach. That's her convulsions begin with her thigh, and then the stomach, and don't worry, the rest of the body doesn't get off scot-free either. Okay? It says name Rameir. With the measure a person measures, so too they measure to him. My time of puzzle teaches this, B'sa'asa. What does B'sa'asa mean? B'sa'asa. In your measure, you get measured. And the yellow saw, I only know if you have a large measure. And we dole it out back to a fine. Minan, how know it's precise even for small measures. Mido connected mido. Rabbos tirkav, 2 kav, chatzi tirkav, half a tirkav, kav, vikav, and a kav, the chatzi kav, the rova, the tomen, the chatzi tumen, the uchla. All measures, even the most smallest one, uchla is like several ounces. Talmud says, Kikos sa'on, so ein barash. Any measure is measured back in noise. Riba kansi osarbe, no matter what kind of measure. Enlio davishu shamido. I only know something which has to do with a midah. Minayin leprutos. How do we know that also prutos? No, it's something which has to do with money that Hashem takes into account. And I put those Hashem makes a large counting. Talmud says achas la'achas limtzo cheshbon, one by one to find a cheshbon. Now the Gemara goes and even now the Gemara takes a slightly different tack now. Says more interesting thing about achas la'achas limtzo cheshbon. Normally you would expect the custom of the world. So if a person transgresses an avera, person transgresses which should get killed at the hands of heaven. So then, sorry, it's not a question, it's a statement. The custom world is Hashem has a special derech with him in order to save him from being killed. He suffers his problems gradually. First Meishoro, first his ox dies, other time Goso, then his chicken dies, Nishbat Suchoso, his cup breaks, Nishbat he stubs his toe, V'acheshbon mismatzeh. No, it's a cheshbon. Hashem doesn't take into account, doesn't do everything at once and kill you. Hashem punishes you gradually over time, so you don't get one fell swoop and one big terroristic, tragic incident, but rather things get paid back over time. That's part of a Kodesh Baruch Hu's chesed, to pay back a person gradually over time and not at one fell swoop.